Okay, well, hey, everybody. This is the last Boss Babe call of the seminar year. It is June the 26th, 2023. And I have to tell y'all what I did. Okay, well, hey, everybody. I love it when that happens. Earlier in the month, in the week, I thought I just was feeling a little unmotivated. I know that's crazy. Actually, I was just thinking of what would be very motivating. Let's put it that way. And so I went back to a Boss Babe call from my biggest year, which was 2019. And I went to June the 23rd of 2019. And I listened to the Boss Babe call and what I was doing and how excited everybody was. And y'all, it was like, and I want to congratulate this girl who just got in her red jacket, and this girl who just got in her red jacket, and this girl. And listen, say, look, and congratulate this girl who got in her red jacket. And there were like 10 or 12 new red jackets. And if you've been in Mary Kay in 2019, y'all might remember that what they were ending at that time was the Destination Red Cruise. And any consultant or director that got three new red jackets on their team. So they had to recruit, and then 3 of them had to become red jackets, okay, on their team from January to July, got to go to the Bahamas. And man, did we have a good time. And so I did not get them until the last day. The last day, I got my second and third red jacket. And they both of them went to church with me, and I saw them after church, and I said, don't y'all want me to go on that cruise? It looks like y'all could get 3 people so I can get on that cruise. And they did. They said, well, I could probably get my mom, my sister, and my aunt, and they all love Mary Kay. It's not like boom, And so anyway, it was so exciting. And I just want you to know miracles can happen at the end if you really have a big goal, even on Friday morning or Friday afternoon. You might think of somebody you need to talk to. Okay. So we got a lot to do. We got 4 days and 4 hours to get it done. So the end of the month is Friday, midnight Central Time, 1 a.m. Eastern Time, which is what we're all in. So I thought, what could I talk to y'all about that would be meaningful tonight and also good for tonight. And of course, to me, it would be, ways to make sure you achieve your goals. Okay. So this was an article that it came out in April, and the lady that wrote it is from Harvard School of Business Review. And her name is Allison Walsh. And she is, just want to give credit where credit is due. She's an entrepreneur, a speaker. She was Miss Florida. So not only is she smart, she's cute. A career coach. She's VP of the Brand Development, Advanced Recovery Systems. She's the CEO of Allison Walsh Consulting. She's 20 years of experience and all kind of stuff. So she seems pretty smart to me. So she had this article, and I wanted to share a couple points, and I want to make it applicable to our Mary Kay business. So the first thing it says is, what separates people who achieve their goals from the people who don't? You can put in the chat what you think. But she said the simple answer is a thoughtful strategy is why people don't meet their goals. They do not have a thoughtful strategy. So she shared in this article 4 tried and true strategies that work from all of her experience. And I have to say, when I read them, I thought every single thing she says, we've heard in Mary Kay. But she does say a couple of things that are just worded a little bit differently. And I thought this would be so good, not only for ending the year, but as y'all know, Saturday starts the new year. And even though it's like, we really don't want to talk about that because we need to get it done this year, we all want big goals for next year too. And so by the time I talk to you again, we're going to already be 3 days into, the new year. Okay. So this is a great time to set goals. And it's also a great time to already start on the goals. Like let's say you had a booking goal or a faces goal or a recruiting goal. Instead of saying, I'm going to start next week while everybody's at the beach for 4th of July, you could start this week and get a heads up. Okay. So let me tell you a couple of things she says. She said that Charles Snyder, who is a American professor, he specialized in all this stuff. Okay. He said there were 2 obstacles in his paper that he wrote. Number 1 is not believing you can achieve the goal. You really don't believe you can achieve it. Number 2 is not identifying the pathway to achieve them. So those are the 2 big things. Number 1, you never even really thought you could do it anyway. And number 2, you never really even set a plan of how you were going to do it. Does that not sound like in Mary Kay, like someone that maybe they join Mary Kay and they just haphazardly say, yeah, I'm going to get a pink Cadillac one of these days. And they don't do one single thing. First of all, they don't really believe that. They just said it because it sounds cute. And second, they never even set up a plan to even get to be a director, so that you can win a pink Cadillac, right? Or the use of a pink Cadillac. And so I think it applies to a lot of things like that. Or, yes, I'm going to make a ton of money in Mary Kay. And really in your mind, you're like, I hope I can sell $50 this week, right? So it's like what you say, you want to believe it, and then you need to set up a pathway for it. So these are for this lady, Allison. These are her 4 tried and true tactics. And like I say, when you hear them, you're going to go, we already know that. It's okay. You're going to hear it again. That's how you learn things. You have to repeat. Number 1 is connect every single goal to a why. To a why. And once you do that, they're meaningful, and a few things happen. And there's 4 things that happen when you connect it to a why, instead of like, for example, let's say you just said, I want to get my red jacket. And you don't ever connect it to any kind of reason except for, I just want to wear red, I guess, like, why do you want to get in your red jacket? So it could be a lot of different things, right? It could be that you really want to share this opportunity with 3 people to help change women's lives, right? It could be that you really want to go to some extra classes at seminar that the Star Team Builders get to so that you will learn more and better educate yourself so that you can be a better Mary Kay beauty consultant and run your business better. It could be that the money that you earn off of your 3 team members, when they become qualified, that, $150 if you're a consultant, $300 if you're a sales director, is going to go to pay for something that's important to you. So like kind of connect something to it. So she said 4 things happen when you connect it to a why. Number 1 is you become hyper-focused on the goal by eliminating distractions or other tasks that are not in alignment with your desired outcome. So do y'all agree that distractions and other tasks do get in our way of our goal sometime, right? So if you have a real strong why, you just go, I don't care about that right now. This is what I got to do. And all of us have had things like that we put other things off to get the job done. Okay. Number 2 is your vision and ideas become easier to outline and understand and communicate because you're intentionally focusing on the reason you want to do something and how it's going to impact you. So your vision and ideas, they become easier to outline, understand, and communicate because you're intentionally focusing on the reason you want to do it. Number 3, it becomes easier to decide what you should do and should not be doing because your priorities are connected to a purpose. So is it helping you get closer to your goal or is it not? And so if it's not, then you may not want to do that right now or hire somebody else to do it, right? Number 4, you do start to understand what's most important to you in your life and career, which gives you clarity and meaning. And you're not running around confused, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I should be doing. I don't even know who I am. Okay. I do run around that way sometimes. So anyway, but I'm pretty focused this week on what I need to be doing. So to figure out your why behind a goal, there's a simple statement she says to use, which you probably have heard before, but you just say, I want to, that's the first part of the statement. And then you draw a line and put what you want. And then it says, so that I can, and then you draw a line and put what your why is. So for example, I'm going to give one that she said, then we'll do a Mary Kay one. It said, it could be, I want to read more nonfiction books. That's their goal. So that I can increase my knowledge and be able to talk to others about various topics. So the why is increasing the knowledge, not just simply reading. I'm not just reading to read. I'm reading to increase my knowledge. Okay. Another one that she had an example was, I want to build a profitable business so I can retire early and spend time doing the things I love. Okay. So the why is having time and resources to do the things you love, not just earning more money, because money is just money. It's just on the table. It's what you do with the money, right? So what you do with that extra money. All right. So does that make sense? So like in Mary Kay, like for me, I'll just use myself an example. Okay. I want to finish the Circle of Excellence, which is 650,000 retail in Mary Kay this year, so that I can take my husband, Brad, to Spain on a, first class vacation with all the other top directors that I love so much and to hang out with. And Brad deserves it. He really needs a break. He desperately needs a break from all the stuff we've been doing for this house, for the farm, for his work, and just to get out of the country. So he cannot be contacted, which I know he can be contacted, but do you know what I mean? And that really motivates me. I do not want to miss out that time with some of my dear friends that are already going. Like if they were just going, to Lake Park, Georgia, I just would die if I could. I want to be there. So it's not just because I want to hit that number. You see what I mean? It's really what that number is going to do to enrich my life and my family. So I want you to think about what your goal is, and what you could say to help really motivate you to do it. Gina shared a short video with me last week, and she, in fact, Gina, at the end, I'll ask you to share just a little bit about that. And it was her why and what a goal that she had and how it's come true and what she did for her and her husband. So anyway, we'll talk about that at the minute. Gina, don't let me forget, or just remember when I get done to say it. So your why will be unique to you, and identifying it early will help keep you on track. So not only from now until Friday, but for the next seminar year. What is it and why do you really want to do it? Okay. And Mary Kay people, we get a little mushy. We say your why should make you cry. If your why, that's so country. If your why don't make you cry, then it may not be big. It may not be good enough. Okay. So find a why that makes you cry. All right. All right. Number 2. So the first one, okay. So remember what the first one was, is identify. Let me say it how she said it. Number 1 is, of the 4 things. Sorry. Okay. Number 1, connect your goal to a why. Every single goal has to have a why. Number 2, start small and start now. That's why I wanted to do this tonight instead of next week. Start small and start now. It says chances are if you're working on a new goal, it's going to take time, energy, and focus to accomplish it, especially if it's something outside the goals that you already have, like at your normal, let's say you work an 8 to 5 job. It's outside of those goals. This is something extra, which normally our Mary Kay career is something in addition to what you already have. Some of us, we don't have an outside job, and this is the only thing we do, but some of us do. So it says you're far more likely to succeed if you start by making small behavior changes. Mary Kay always used to say, you can eat an elephant one bite at a time. That's what that means. Okay. And so you're going to break it down. It says the research that she has looked at says it takes between 18 to 66 days to change a habit or create a new one, whether it's, getting up early, whether it's reading more, whether it's whatever it is that you're not doing right now that you want to start doing. It's exercising, getting up and picking squash, whatever it is. Okay. So 18 to 66 days. And if you set up an unrealistic goal or a timeline, you could be setting yourself up to fail, and you may become unmotivated before you even begin. And all of the women on here you all know we have all set unrealistic goals. Any of you that have had a weight problem in losing weight, we will say we're going to lose 40 pounds by the end of the week. In short of cutting off 2 arms, you're not going to lose 40 pounds by the end of the week. Okay. Like, you don't want to cut off a body part to lose that. So like you set yourself up for failure instead of saying, I did Weight Watchers once, and they said, your goal is to lose 2 to 3 pounds a week, 2 to 3 pounds a week. And it doesn't sound like nothing, but at the end of a month, you've lost 8 pounds, 8 to 10. But at the end of 6 months, you lost 50, 60 pounds if you kept it up, right? And same thing, if you start gaining weight and you gain 2 pounds a month, that's no big deal until the end of the year and you're 25 pounds heavier than you were last Christmas. And now you're Miss Santa. Why are we talking about weight? Let's talk about Mary Kay, because all size people can do Mary Kay. Eat what you want. Okay, here we go. So you want to break your goals down. So one of the things like that she said, like, okay, what if someone said, I need to read 50 books a year. Okay, I need to read 50 books a year. So instead, break it down and say, I need to read 3 pages a day. Okay, which one sounds easier to do? 3 pages a day. So let's talk about Mary Kay. I need to hold 50 parties next year. So I need to hold 1 party a week. Okay, what sounds easier? 50 parties or 1 party a week, right? And so you would want to book at least 2 parties a week to do that, because one probably going to postpone, because they do on everybody. Okay, so I mean, like, it's like that kind of thing. You want to have $1,000 week. That is $142 a day. How can you sell $142 a day? 1 facial a day could do it. 1 big party could have $1,000 a week, or 2 parties, according to what your averages are. But if you break it down, but sometimes if it's so big that you can't even see yourself doing that, you won't even work for it, because you don't even think it's going to happen at all. Does that make sense? So whatever that goal is, you do have to break it down so that you think, okay, this seems like something I could do. All right. Let's say it's something like, I want to get in a red jacket. I just want to get my red jacket. That's all I want to do. Okay. So you're going to say why you want to get in the red jacket, like we talked about. And so then you're going to know you need to talk to 15 people, because usually 1 out of 5 signs up. Okay. And so then you're going to say, okay, I need to set up at least 15 career chats. So really, I probably need to set up 30, because probably half of them are not even going to show up when I'm trying to talk to them. Right. So then you got to look at your people. How am I going to get 30 people to agree? You're going to look at your customers, you're going to look at your friends, you're going to get referrals, So you just kind of break it down. One of the things that she encourages, which Pam Shaw, National Sales Director, has always talked about this, and other nationals too, is to do a 90-day sprint. A 90-day sprint. She has a book, Design Your Life in 90 Days, and she's had it forever. And it is a proven research to work things in 90-day increments. So why don't your 90 days be from now until a week before September ends? Okay. Or you could just say from now to September, but give yourself an extra 4 days. We're going to give you 4 extra days to do it. Okay. And so if you look at that, what could you do in 90 days? So like talking about like the books that, like, if you wanted to do 50 books in a year or whatever. So maybe have a goal, like, I'm going to, read 10 books in 90 days. So maybe your bookings, okay, your bookings or your parties, like, I at least am going to have 10 done in the next 90 days, so that I can complete this. And then, of course, you can speed up. After you do 90 days of 10, then maybe the next 90 days you could do 12 or 14 or 15. Just like anything that you do, you can increase it, okay? So the next one that she said, number 3, was remove obstacles before you begin. I thought this was really good. And she said, before you start on a goal, you ask yourself, what could prevent me from reaching this goal? What could prevent me from accomplishing this goal? And you take a piece of paper down and you actually start writing them down. And this could be anywhere from fear to babysitter problems. I mean, that's a big thing, right? It could be fear, it could be babysitter problems, it could be time, it could be excuses that you make about yourself. It could be you don't have enough energy. It's all these different things that you could have, and you just write them all down, everything that you think could keep you from this goal. And once you put it on paper, this is the thing that she said, there is research that is done that psychologically, when you write it down and you put worrisome thoughts on a piece of paper or anxiety-inducing thoughts on paper, you offload them and free up space in your mind. And y'all have probably heard this before, like if you can't go to sleep, have you ever heard the thought, you can't go to sleep, you have a journal by your bed and you just get up and you write down everything's bothering you. And then something about your brain releases that onto that piece of paper, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Because if you want to pick it up in the morning and read it, you can, and then you just go to bed because you're not going to forget it because it's right there in the morning and you can release it. So there's something about writing down the things that bother you that you may can look and say, hey, what can I do to figure this out? So, it may say maybe some of it is, I need more energy to be able to do the things I want to do in Mary Kay. How could you get more energy? Is it maybe you need to, like Sayla says, put your tennis shoes on, go walk a little bit, eat a little bit healthier. What could you cut out if it's time, what could you cut out to do your Mary Kay? Something that's a time waster, maybe, like maybe not scroll on Instagram for 3 hours. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. And you could also use this, like, let's say you want to go to seminar or you want to go to an event, the fall retreat coming up in your area. And you're like, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the support. I don't have a babysitter. So could you write those things down and start working on those of how I can get the money, how I can get the time, how can I get the babysitter, all the things you need to do to make it happen. And instead of just saying, I can't go because of all these reasons. All right. And then number 4, the final one is celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins all along the way. It says, finally take the time to applaud your efforts. Not everything will go as planned, but when you pause and see what you did well, it's going to help you improve on the next goal that you have. You'll learn a lot and you'll be better prepared. Okay. And she says, I can't stress this enough, but you have to celebrate. You have to. Celebrating your accomplishments not only feels great, it releases dopamine in your brain. Now, my mother has Parkinson's, and Parkinson's, one of the things they do is they have a lack of dopamine. And one of the things that they tell you to increase your dopamine kind of quick is to take a really cold shower. Myself, I would rather someone cheer for me. I would rather cheer for myself than take a cold shower. So you have a choice. You can go take a cold shower or you can celebrate your wins. But that dopamine, it helps reinforce the behaviors and habits that you need to accomplish your next goal because you'll remember how that feels. I can say this, like, I remember how it feels to be on stage and to walk across that stage as a top director. It's a good feeling, okay? I remember how it feels, to earn something at similar, that win. So I want to do that again. And so when you celebrate your wins, it'll make you want to do it again and again and again. So your win may be that you had a $300 week. Your win may be that you did 20 new faces last week, or you called 20 people. Even if you got rejected 20 times last week, that's a win because guess what? You wouldn't have got rejected at all if you hadn't at least tried. So you got those behind you. Now you'll get some yeses, right? And you really get to learning about it. So anyway, she says that her clients who celebrate wins not only end up accomplishing more, but they also enjoy the process, which in turn helps them create more sustainable goal-setting habits. And so I thought it was a really good article and it applied to Mary Kay for sure. I will say this, the article that she wrote, Celebrating Wins, okay, we are in Mary Kay. I mean, we're the only adult women we know that have pom-poms at our desks. I mean, normal people do not have a pom-pom at their desk. So just because you're in Mary Kay, you are going to get celebrated. And so you're going to feel better than the normal woman because we celebrate you for breathing practically. If you just show up, you get celebrated. But really for yourself too, you do want to celebrate your wins. What did you do good last week that helps you get further in your business? And if it's a big fat 0, say, okay, I'm at least going to do, if I don't do anything else this week, I'm going to do this. And it could be, I'm going to reach out to 10 people this week and talk and just ask them if they've ever tried Mary Kay and would they like a facial or would they like some samples. But if I don't do anything else, and then at the end of that week, if that's all you did, at least you met that goal and it will help you feel good about it and you can celebrate. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to bring up Gina on here. And Gina, I would like to just add you up here with me a minute and tell them, about the goal that you set and what you ended up doing this last week.
I wanted to do Queen's Court and earn the diamond, which of course you guys know I've already done that. But the reason that I originally wanted to do that the first year is because I wanted to take Randy to Grenada. So we went to Sandals and spent a week. That was paid for just from my sales. So our airfare, whole week, everything. But that's what I did. I broke it down and my goal was to sell 4,000 a week. And whatever that means to y'all. I just literally took an envelope and minused it off, but that's what it was. That's for the last 2 years. That's what it's been. I wanted to pay for that trip.
To sell 4,000 a week or a month?
A week.
A week, $4,000 a week. All right,
I'm
y'all.
not telling you I did it all the time, but I just,
Good money. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And how did you feel when you were there celebrating?
Good. Very good. Especially when folks kept saying, well, what do you do for a living? So, and I've got 7 yeses from people in other states.
I love it. I love it. And by the way, y'all, Grenada is not like in South Georgia. In case you aren't familiar, tell them where it is.
It is in the Caribbean. It's the furthest island up. They haven't had a hurricane since 1955, and that is part of the reason I like to go there.
So do you think that Gina's husband feels pretty good about her doing her Mary Kay business? Yeah. I mean, do you feel like that helped him be supportive to you?
Yes.
Because you also had a goal that you thought about what you were going to do for him and your family. Okay.
And it has been really fun this week that we got to talk about. He didn't understand anything about the car. So he was like, well, what are you going to do with either one of them?
Yes, and I meant to say this on our unit meeting, which didn't get recorded anyway, except for partially. But y'all, Gina just finished up her Chevy Equinox. So like a week early, and she was only been director for 5 months. So we're so excited for you and all the other things that are happening. As a matter of fact, we're going to open it up real quick. Gina, thank you so much. That was exactly what I wanted you to do. I'm going to open it up to everybody real quick, and I'm going to remove my spotlight. And if anybody else has a goal that they had set, so I asked this at my unit meeting, but I had a challenge last week for all of you, and it was to go live every night. And we got 4 more days to do it. How many of y'all went live every night since last week when I challenged you? Okay, Gail, Latrice, Christine, and I know some of you did it every night, but like one night, right? And so Sayla, I know, did that, and several of you did it. So I would like to hear from any of you that went live, if you learned something about yourself, or if you felt like, it did help promote your business this week as well. Anybody like to unmute? Gail, why don't you just tell us what you gained out of that? You may have gone live every night anyway. You probably did, but anyway.
No, I wouldn't normally go live every night, but it definitely flipped a switch for me to get into going live every night. So I do something in the morning, and then I do something in the afternoon. And specifically for National Pink Day, I invited 2 consultants to come in with me, and we actually, each one of us did a live with 2 products. So we did 6 videos that day and published them in a customer group that we all share in. So that gave everybody a lot of video time and a lot of screen time, which I thought was really important for us to get that experience. And then, we're back now into our individual go lives, twice a day, morning and evening. And it was an out of box experience, quite frankly, because it's easy to not. But it's more important. It's almost like getting up and doing your Bible study. Boom. What's the first thing you do? Well, you get up, you say your prayers, you do your Bible study, and then you think about what you're going to post on going live. After people seeing me for about 6 days without makeup on, I said, I think I need to do something a little more inspirational.
Exactly. And, we went out of town this weekend, and I thought, I missed my 8:00 deadline. But I did it at 8:45. I'm like, it don't matter. They're not sitting there. 100 people are not sitting there with bated breath waiting to hear me at 8:00. But I did commit to do it. And it's just that I tell you what it is. It's making a commitment and following through no matter how it looks. Okay. And it keeps you out in front of your customers. And so super proud of you. Who else would like to share something about last week or something about what we said? Latrice, go.
Hey. I learned a lot. I scheduled mine out, and I did 4 on one day, but I scheduled them out 4 days apart. It did take a minute to download things, but it's okay. Like 3 hours on one of them. I'm like, what? But I was committed. You're right. I was committed. And so tonight I accidentally didn't set up something right, and I had to end up going into all of my consultants' customer group. But then I jumped back off and went into my customer group. But I've loved it, and it's gotten me lots of connections. And like you said, they want to see you. And so tonight, after this is over, I'm doing 2, 4, 6, 8. Everybody exfoliate.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. All right, good deal. Good deal. Who else would like to share?
I agree. I've been doing, but it's scheduling them out. So I did a whole bunch, especially before we left, so that I could schedule them out. And you're right. They just want to see us. They want to see us barefaced. They want to see what we really do. And my customers are on so much more product because of it. You're so right.
Me too. And I had people go, I need some of that water, that whatever you called it, water that you use. And it was the worst video I've done in a while. I'm not even kidding. I went to my bathroom and did it. I'm not even done one in this bathroom. I was on a stool, so my computer was down. I was up already bad, right? It's a bad angle. And then anyway, I looked at it later and I thought, it's so bad. I thought, I don't have time to redo it. It's going out. So it is what it is. And then the next day I did make sure I did a glamour look. So, okay, who else had something that they learned or that they did last week from the challenge, or something about the goal setting?
I'll just say that what's funny to me is on the videos, the things that you say that people, they'll say back to you, like you'll say some funny little saying that you don't even really know that you say, and they'll say, oh, you know, that lip liner that you called so-and-so, or that lipstick you, and it's just interesting what we think is important and what they pick up on. It's just.
Absolutely. And Sayla, I have to tell you this. I had a girl come over today and she was buying some stuff and she had her notes, like, and it was all these things. She said, yeah, I did this last time I was over here at your house. I said, no, that was not over here, because I've never told you to do a fish face and to put on your bronzer. And so she said, oh, it's that short-haired friend you got. I said, Sayla? She goes, yeah, this is a while back. And I took notes and everything said. She said, do a fish face and then do your bronzer, or whatever you said, Sayla. And so she wrote it down word for word, do the fish face. And she had a whole, in fact, I got them right here. I said, give me those notes. And I threw them
Scary.
in the trash. She has all these notes exactly of what you said. Fish face, and then hairline to the top, and a dash under the lips and down the chin, and triangle on either side of the nose. So like, this is a video. She goes, I probably watched that 4 years ago. So you really don't know the value of what you say and what they remember. And, you know, it's kind of crazy. So who else has something that they, and do y'all agree about the 4 ways about the goals? Do y'all think it would be helpful to you?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a terrible video as well. It was night before last, because I missed the one night and I almost forgot, and I had people over and we had facials, and I was going upstairs after they left, and it was like 11 or something, and I was going to bed, and I'm like, oh man, usually my face is washed long before 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I gotta wash my face, and I'm like, as soon as I thought that, it was the day for the nighttime routine, and I'm like, oh. So I did it anyways. It was the most awful video in the world. It was like practically in the dark, everybody's sleeping, but I did it, and it's out there for the world to see. And then the other thing is that number 3, remove the obstacles before you get started. Thank you. That hit.
Good deal. Good deal.
And
All right.
please, also on your list, the writing things down. I am old school. I have a spiral bound notebook. I have one a month that everything goes in. And so I write down the night before what I'm doing the next day. And I get, first of all, I sleep. And secondly, I get so much accomplished when I do write it down versus having a blank page the next day. I'm like a train wreck when I do not have it written down. I don't get anything done. So that is so true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want you guys to think about what your goal is going to be for this next year as you're finishing up this year. I want you to be pondering it. Where do you want to see yourself next year? And anything is possible. Gina, I want to ask you something. Last June, where were you on the Mary Kay career path?
Queen's Court, but that was it. I didn't even have one team member.
Okay, so she was a consultant that just finished the Queen's Court of Sales. And now 1 year later, she's a sales director that just earned the use of the Chevy Equinox.
Yes.
So that is a prime example of what can happen with some focused energy. And she started out with just that sales goal. But what the sales goal does for you, it helps you see a ton of people. And then when she got ready to recruit, she had so many customers, she had a big old pool to kind of get out of, And so that's kind of what happened to me as well, is I sold way more at first, and then I started recruiting, which I'm not saying to do it in that order, but and she didn't take near as long either. So, well, I want to end with this. This is something by Linda Tupin that was shared today by top director Rachel Bullock. And it is so good. And we're just going to end with this. And then we'll kind of end our last Boss Babe call with this. And it's called, Which Player Are You? Okay, so I'm just going to read it just like it says. It says, whether you are a sports fan, hang on just a minute. Okay, whether you're a sports fan or not, most people have witnessed a championship game of some sort in their lifetime. Your unit is such a team. It competes in the Final Four, the Super Bowl, the Kentucky Derby, the Indy 500 of Mary Kay. And it's called Seminar. And we're fixing to wrap it up. I realize that when you joined Mary Kay, you may or may not have known that part, but you do. In all championship teams, you're going to find the following 6 kinds of people. All right. Number 1, people who live, this is about sports right now, then we're going to do it Mary Kay. People who live in the city or college town. They didn't choose to live there because of the championship record, but they're proud they do, especially if their team wins. It gives them bragging rights to their friends. Number 2 is people who buy team paraphernalia. That shows the world they love the team, that money supports the team. Number 3, fans who catch a few games a year, if their schedule permits. They love the atmosphere, the excitement, the popcorn, the cold beverage. This is entertainment. Their presence alone supports and encourages the team. And the money they spend contributes to the success of the team. Number 4 is the season ticket holders. They adjust their life around the team schedule. These people are serious about the team and players, and the players depend on them during the year. They are a big part of the team's success. Then number 5 are the actual players. They love the game. Sometimes they start, sometimes they cheer, but they never miss a practice. They never miss a game. They're actively involved and have a big stake in the outcome. And then the last is the starting team. They give it all they've got. They get tired. They get dirty. They get sweaty. They have their heart broken if they do not win. It's not the trophy, the money, or the stardom. It's the win that matters to them. So Linda Tubin said, being a part of our unit is exactly the same. Whether you choose it or not, you're in a championship unit. You're part of that heritage. You can be the consultant that just happens to be in the unit and has bragging rights, the consultant who just loves the stuff and that money supports the unit, the consultant that comes to a few things during the year, or maybe sells to a few friends or family members, the consultant who arranges her schedule around the unit and the national functions and are serious about the team winning. However, at the close of the seminar year, I invite you to be a player, to be a player if you're not already a player. I invite you to be on the starting team. I invite you to get sweaty, to risk getting injured, to throw your heart over the line and risk having it broken, to run with all that you have to 1 a.m. on June 30th. Why? Because we play to win. If winning did not matter, we would not keep score. No one should ever have to apologize for excellence and seeking excellence in others. Your birthright is a unit of that of a championship team. The level in which you choose to be involved on is your call. Team stands for together everyone achieves more. And that is never so true as in the month of June. Every role is key to our unit's victory this month. Let's go. Buckle your seatbelt, tighten your helmet. Our year is closing out and your team is going for the big win. Much love, your sales director. And so when I read that, I'm like, yes and amen, to end our year with that. And really think about where you've been this year. And all 6 people are appreciated. But we would love to have more on the starting line and more players than spectators, wouldn't we? So, but everybody counts these next few days. So I want to challenge you, if you're a big player on the team and you're a starter even, hey, look at your team and see if you can encourage them to get more involved this next year, And if you haven't been that involved, maybe you're a player, but you're not on the starting team yet, so to speak, and Mary Kay, maybe make that a goal in there. Say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be one of the top people in this unit. I'm going to start this week. All right, you guys, I'm going to end with a prayer tonight because we all need it. So, dear Lord, I just want to lift up every single one of these ladies tonight, every single one of these directors, these consultants, anyone that's hearing my voice that has a goal, and those that are on the team, those that are really running for something that seems so far. Lord, I just ask you to bless us. I ask you to give us strength and encouragement and holy surprises this week. And just in Jesus' name, we just will honor you and give you all the glory and the credit for the win. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, you guys. So here's the deal. Next Monday is actually it's the 3rd. So we are not going to have a boss babe call next Monday. However, because I know a lot of people are going out of town for the 4th of July. Okay. However, once the new promotions come out, whether they come out on Saturday or Sunday, they probably come out on Saturday, I will do a little wrap up of like the best of my ability this weekend and put it out there and share it with all the directors. Okay. And then we will start the regularly scheduled boss babe calls on that second Monday night. Is that good? Okay, because I know a lot of people are going to be gone anyway. And so let's just do that. And in the meantime, so that will mean that the next time that we see you will be like July the 10th.
Yes.
So a third of the month will be over by the next time I see you. So you have to do some big things in the next 14 days, the end of this month and the first 10 days of July. Do not sit on your duff and think that you're going to have a great June or July, and say, I'm going to get ready to get started after my vacation. You have got to start today. Okay. The other thing is, and I shared this in my unit call, is that, there was some talk about some of the sets already starting to sell out in some area of the 60%. So far where we live, it's not as of a couple hours ago, but they normally do sell out before the end of the month. So I wanted to caution you on waiting to the last second to put in those orders for the skincare sets. I would say go ahead and do those today. And then if you need to order again at the end of the month, that's fine. But get that out of the way so you get those at least. Okay. And then don't forget about the buy one, get one free on those hydrating sheet masks, because that is a big bang for your buck. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching tonight. And we will see y'all on July the 10th. Thank you, Maureen, for helping me with my dates.